So we've all had lunch. It was a great lunch. I think I've already told to like 5 people it was the best lunch I've had after I've landed in the United States. Because very good masalas and good vegan food. But moving on, today I am going to talk about how to make money as a short form creator. Um, Slow claps for. Okay. All right. So, how many of you here have gotten calls from your bank RM or an insurance agent asking you to buy a particular product or service? Raise of hands. How many of you have actually bought it? No one. It's a very good crowd then. But yeah, in India, I'll just give you a brief as to how exactly the financial advisory market works. So there is one end of the spectrum where they are giving advice with against a fixed sum of money. Now these are SEBI registered RIAs. And there's another side of the spectrum where there are salesmen, these bank RMs, these insurance agents who are getting commissions off of you and they are suggesting products to you. Now, Amitabh, we are a population of how many people? And but any random guess, how many SEBI registered investment advisors are there in India? Anyone else wants to guess? How many SEBI registered advisors are there in India? So for a sorry. So for a population of 1.4 billion people, we only and only have 1,300 SEBI registered investment advisors. And why is that? That is because the compliances that these financial advisors have to adhere to are very complex. It's very difficult to even become a SEBI registered RIA. And after getting that registration, what you can do and can't do is very restrictive. So most people don't actually want to get that RIAs, and people who do get those RIAs are only and only catering to HNIs and people who have a lot of money. Because of course, if you're making all those accommodations, you want good money against it. Otherwise, why would you? So that gave market or that gave room to these salespeople who are actually catering to the entire population and giving them advice. Now, when your insurance agent is selling you something, or when your bank RM is selling you something, they are getting commissions out of it, or their parent entity is getting commission out of it. In addition to that, they have sales target. So there's a very good chance that the information that they're giving to you is not in your own interest. The product that they're selling to you is something which is their target rather than what's good for you. So this entire market or this entire gap in the market is something that I identified, and that is when I started making content on finance. Now, when I started making content, you can see here it's written short form creator. When I started making content, I was making those, sitting in front of the camera, boring talking to the camera. चलो आज अगर आपको portfolio बनाना है तो 10% इधर डालो, 20% इधर डालो, short form, long term XYZ. And I went ahead and I asked my friends, how are these videos? What are your opinions on it? And they were like, great information. India needs it. We need this knowledge because now we're earning money. But it's too damn boring. And there are a lot of YouTube videos which are already doing this. But it's too boring. After a long day of work, I don't want to sit and see what are the 10 ways I should select a mutual fund stock. So what was happening is they were going to people who were giving direct advice instead of learning, instead of knowing about those fundamentals through which they should make decisions. So that's when I actually started focusing on making this information more palatable, more digestible, and engaging through skits, through getting cultural references in the topic, and basically making finance engaging, basically making something which is very boring, will put you to sleep, something that is short, digestible, and will help you make decisions. So that's how I started making finance content, and that's why I am a short form content creator. Now, how do you make money as a creator? Just like again a question, how many of you spend 1+ hour on any social media platform? Okay, how many of you spend 3+ hours on social media? They're the only honest people, because on an average, an Indian spends 4 hours online. So if that is where all the attention is, won't brands will want to be there? Won't businesses shift online? So hence this entire topic, or hence the entire size of influencer economy of people who are online and people who are making money is growing rapidly. It's growing at the rate of 18% annually. And when I started, it was nothing. I started 4 years back, and today is a very credible, established industry in just 4 years. Honestly, at 18% return, if any agency or if any marketing company which facilitates this discourse, I would buy stock in that, because those are great numbers. The amount of people that are coming in, the amount of brands that are coming in are immensely great. So the market is growing exponentially. Creators are making a lot of money. So this is some news that Shefali broke recently. It's a EY report. It says that 77% of influencers reported income growth in the past 2 years. 86% of influencers expect 10% increase in their income over the next 2 years, and 12% influencers earn between rupees one. I'm sorry, that's rupees 1 lakh to 10 lakh. Um, this is actually annual data. Oh, sorry, monthly. But I agree to all of that, right? Like, I have seen short form creators, people who make videos which are only a minute, half long, charge 15, 20 lakhs for that minute point five or minute and a half long videos. So these numbers are not abysmal. This is a reality. But what I don't agree with is the fact that it's written 73% of the influencers work less than 10%, 10 hours a week, compared to 39 hours abroad. That's absolutely, I have never seen a creator who works 10 hours a week, because a lot of work goes into it. But maybe I'm from the other half or other percentage of it. But yeah, other than that, everyone is making money. This industry is growing. It's a great time to be a creator. It's a great time to be an influencer. But with that, what we need to also realize, yeah, is that being a creator comes with a very short lifespan. You can't make 10 lakh rupees annually by doing under 10 hours of work per week forever in your life, according to that report. I don't agree with it. But yeah, how many of you here heard of Lily Singh, Logan Paul, Jake Paul, or the vlogger Cassie? Great. How many of you have heard of Beer Biceps, Carrie Minati, Sejal Kumar? Almost all of you. Now, the reason I gave these two set of creators is because Logan Paul, Jake Paul, Lily, they're the OG creators. They started creating content when the platforms came up. They had a life of 4 to 5 years when they were at the peak, and then they lost relevancy, at least online, at least in the same type of content that they were doing. Then came, in India especially, the geo era, or we call them in local lingo, the geo creators. So when Jio made data very cheap in India, it saw a spurt of content creation online, or consuming of content online and being online. That led to a lot of people becoming creators full time for the first time in India. And that is where all your Beer Bicep, Sejal, Carrie Minati, Ashish Chanchlani, they all belong to the Geo era of creators. Now, if you see everyone, Bhuvan Bam, Carrie Minati, Beer Biceps, what they were doing initially, they're not doing that now. Beer Biceps was a fitness creator, he does podcast. Mostly Sane, who was a comedy creator, has become a actor. Bhuvan Bam is again gone to OTT. So people they've either gone away from being a creators and doing something else, or they've become irrelevant, and hence we don't even know about them today. And these creators, which had come in the Geo era, were replaced by creators like me who come from the COVID era. So we sort of started making content in 2020 when short form content was booming in India, and platforms were giving a lot of organic reach to individuals. So we have been making content, or people like me have been making content for almost what? It's 4 years since COVID. So we are at the stage of here stagnancy. We don't know what's going to replace us yet. But if we don't completely reinvent ourselves, if we don't completely change where we are going, we are going to be replaced very soon. So life cycle of a creator is anywhere between 4 to 7 years. And until and unless you get all the people that you are following, or the entire following you have online to a different platform or to a business, this entire cycle is like how you are as an actor. You get your shot to fame and then you just go down and then you get into depression. But this is, keeping all this in mind, it's not as easy being a creator and leaving your traditional jobs and doing this full time. But this is, a reality. Moving on. How the money moves in the finance niche. So there are different niches in finance itself. If you see, their business case study, motivation-led, and podcast creators in finance. Business case studies is where they're analyzing different businesses. Motivation is where they're saying, "Tum kar sakte ho, tum paise kama sakte ho. You have all the ability. You just need to work hard." Those kind of creators. And then podcast is where they are talking to people, but on financial topics. So these are three niches which don't earn a lot of money. There are two other niches which are stock market content creators and personal finance content creators who earn majority of the money from finance brands. Now, why is that? Most of the products or most of the brands in the finance space are either people who are advertising to invest via their platforms, are either traders, people wanting to incentivize traders to buy their courses, to join their cohorts, or again to sell them their trading platform software tools. And personal finance is everything from your credit card, banking products, insurance products, everything comes in that domain. So people really earn money in these two segments, and that is where even I belong. Now, the interesting thing about stock market creators is that they were making, oh my God, so much of money. They were getting crores of rupees as brokerage income because they had affiliated or they had affiliate income from all the leading broking platforms in India. So they were incentivizing people to invest, they were incentivizing people to trade as much as possible, as more as possible, so that they could get the broking commissions via their links. Now, this is where SEBI had recently cracked down, and this is the only area of influencers which SEBI had a problem with, and that was taken down. I am a personal finance creator. All the regulations that had happened or that got implemented recently does not impact me or how I function at all. So this is a brief idea about what different niches are there in the finance influencing space. So how it all started. Now, so when I said, right, that I asked my friends what I'm doing is too boring, and they really don't like the YouTube videos, so they don't want to consume it. That's true that I was the first finance short form creator in the country. I conceptualized it from scratch. So when I started making content, short form content in October 2020, there were no brands who were advertising. There was no finance brands on Instagram. That was not something that, really, it was not an established industry. So it all started with us connecting with people or, messaging and emailing people to their PR budgets. As you can see in this email, this is one of the email which is there in December 2020, which I had sent, which is me telling some PR agencies, is like very baby Anushka, but yeah, applying or requesting them, that this is my page and this is what we can do together, and let me know if you can, proceed ahead with it. And I have sent hundreds of these emails to people from different industries, just trying to get some money out of it so that I can justify to my mother why I'm making videos on the internet and I've left my corporate finance job. So yeah, it all started with PR. It took a couple of months. It took 6 to 7 months to get some sort of money out of it on a month-to-month basis. But then something happened which legitimized my entire industry. Before I move ahead, quick question. In the finance space or, in the industry that we say the business world, what was really prominent in 2021, 2022, early, late 2021, 2022, relating to funding? Like, where, any ideas, any guesses? No. Something else. Relating to funding. So 2021, 2022 is, yeah, startups. There was a funding boom. People, because everything was going digital, startups are getting flooded with money. And all the PR activity or all the PR budgets that I was applying to, a lot of people saw good growth out of it. And, the message spread. And this became a legitimized industry. Or what I was doing, I was not, having to really convince people that come to me, brands were coming to us, and because they were seeing the growth that I had, I got my first viral video within 15 days. I went from 0 to 25,000 followers in 15 days because it's a genuine gap in the market. So brands, other people also saw that I was growing. They started making financial content, and this became a legitimized industry. This 2021, 2022 is when we started seeing some good money that we could, hire editors, we could and a lot of people left the traditional finance roles and became a full-time creator. So this is when startups really, really gave life to this entire industry. And this is when a lot of startups would also call us for their launches and to give seminars. And that was all about 2021 and 2022. Moving on to 2023 is the startup funding went bust. The funding winter started. But interestingly, a lot of traditional finance companies started advertising. A lot of traditional banks, credit cards, insurance products um, started seeing that this is where the younger audience is. They wanted to catch them when they were young, and then they started advertising online. So in fact, after the startup funding winter started, we started earning more money because banks and traditional finance gives you more money. And the funny thing is they don't even expect anything out of you because for them it's just a branding activity. So that is where 2023 is when the traditional media, traditional banks, the traditional industry started recognizing this as a legitimate way to advertise and really, have started doing recurring campaigns with us. Apart from that, though, what's also happened in 2023 is when I started creating content, within 6 months, we were probably 10 of us. Today, we are at least 5,000 of us. And when traditional finance is coming to you just for branding, they are coming to you not for your community, they are coming to you for attention. So it's very fickle. They're not coming to you because of the quality of their audience, they're coming to you for eyeballs. So they really shift to people who have more eyeballs. And the platform is, social media is such that the newer the people who are creating content, the newer views they have, the more eyeballs they're getting. So that's why even though it's more money, it's very fickle money. And hence a lot of creators, and this is, something where I have also worked a lot on, is I've started creating a lot of digital assets for myself, which I started in, mid 2023, and a lot of them will launch really soon. So one of them is my book, which is a digital first book. It's also, I've created a lot of calculators, checklists, a lot of ebooks also on very specific topics that I can sell via my own distribution. In addition to that, again, like I said, public appearances is the same as last year. But in addition to that, a lot of creators also started their businesses. I, in 2023, started consulting fintech startups and individuals as to how they can use content marketing to grow their own following online. And I have, again, just very recently launched my course, which is Influence Club, where I help people become personal brands themselves, something that I've done, something that I've really lived through it and saw, how it really turns around your opportunity. The reason why I'm here today, why Georgie was so kind to invite me here today, is because of the personal brand online. So this is entire thing which, the industry has shifted to, which is a really diverse source of income. Now, who's excited to see how and where exactly I get my money from? So this is my breakdown. In 2023-24, 70% of my income was through brands. 10% of it was through appearances and seminars, webinars. 10% was my consulting business, and 10% was my course. So the course we had the first, the experimental, the beta course, beta phase, which happened. Business I actually started and shut down very quickly because I realized it was not very scalable and it was very service intensive. Um, intensive. So that's why if you see for next year, my brand income is actually, I am assuming it to shrink to 40% of my total income. My course income is going to go to 30%. Digital assets that I haven't launched yet, but they're going to be launched. They're launching very soon in the next month itself is going to be 20%. And again, appearances and seminars are 10%. So this is how exactly the revenue breakup is changing. Less and less, we can't rely as much as we did before on brand income because A, competition has increased so much, and B, brands are very fickle about who they want to work with, and C, there are so many agencies. For one brand deal that we work with, there are 3 agencies in between who are taking their cuts. And whoever, is giving them a good deal, they just go with that. So the entire community aspect of, being a creator, being a finance creator that was there back in 2021, 2022 is really gone down. And it's a lot more on who has the attention will get more money, especially from the brand's perspective. So yeah, this is actually something that I don't have time to cover, but this is general on a global level, how people or how creators earn their money. As you can see, 91% in 2021, 82% in 2023 earn money through sponsored content, affiliate income that I said for a lot of stock market creators. It's also true for a lot of lifestyle creators selling. There's a girl who is my friend. She sold 30 lakh rupees worth of jeans through an Instagram story. So that's the kind of clout and attention and power that these creators have, and that girl's like 21 years old. So all of these, are sources where creators are earning money, but still, brand income is going to be number one. Affiliate income for a large majority is going to be number two. But a lot of creators will have to focus a lot on creating their personal brands and will have to have an exit strategy and their own businesses where they can earn money from, because it's getting very cluttered, very crowded as an industry, and we can't really, just be in Delulu, as we Gen Z say, and expect this money to be coming to us forever. And we really need to have an exit plan today. All right, that was it from my end.